Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first installment of Development. It's our Whitley Penn Talks new podcast series, and it really covers various topics around recruiting and retaining and developing our talent, which is essentially one of the lifeblood of the firm. I mean, without the people we have, we are nothing, and we can't serve our clients without great people. So this is an exciting topic for myself. My name is Nathen McEown. I'm a partner with the firm, and I help lead our recruiting efforts. And a little bit about my recruiting journey. I interned in 2004 and was recruited directly off Texas campus, and our intern groups were a little bit smaller then. I think I was one of one, and now we have about 30 to 40 in internship class. And so it's very exciting to see this grow, and I have someone very special with us today, Danielle Reynolds, who leads our campus recruiting efforts for Whitley Penn. Danielle, why don't you say hello and introduce yourself?
Well, thank you, Nathan. So excited to be here with you all today. My name is Danielle Reynolds. I sit here in our Dallas office, but kind of all over the place. Like Nathan mentioned, I do lead all of our campus recruiting efforts, firm-wide in all departments, and we really focus on empowering students to find their perfect fit. So we are out there branding the firm, building our firm culture, and just looking to connect with young professionals that are driven, entrepreneurial, and looking to develop their career with us, because those opportunities are all there. In addition to that, I lead our intern professional development program called Develop, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit later today. And then I also lead our employee wellness program called FitWit, which is a great opportunity that really blends both our work life and a healthy environment here at Whitley Penn, really beneficial to our employees.
Great. Well, let's briefly walk through this recruiting process. I know for us in industry, we're very familiar. It's a very structured process. But for someone that may be new to it, I mean, how long does this take? And kind of walk us through that.
Sure. Well, it's about a year-long process. Most students are going to start it their junior year as they enter that fall semester of their junior year. We're going to do some recruiting in the fall, and then a little bit heavier during their spring semester with on-campus interviews and different events and presentations. And then you will then interview to come back the following year for your actual internship. That's usually going to be the spring semester of your senior year during your undergrad. So kind of a lengthy process, but it's fun to get to meet the students and see them come back a year later to actually participate in their internship.
Yeah, I remember when I went through this process, and it's fun because, you kind of get this internship, and then at the end of the internship, you usually have your job offer. And so you really have a job lined up almost a year before you graduate. So, those parents do get off your back just a little bit when they know you're going to be gainfully employed a year before you get out of there. So, I'm a wide-eyed junior. I'm on campus going through this process. How can you better prepare me for this process? And what can I do to make sure that I'm going to go through it and be successful?
Sure. I think there's a lot of things you can do to start. I mean, look, when we're looking at who we're going to bring into the firm, especially from a campus level, everyone's kind of in the same pool, right? You don't have a lot, if any, accounting experience. So we're really looking to just learn more about you as an individual. So things you can do right now are build those soft skills. Find out, what really matters to you and where you see yourself fitting in. Culture is a big thing. So focus on the things that are most important to you and go be with a firm that those values line up. Another thing you can do is research the firms that you're interested in. Show interest in them. Follow them on social media. Keep in touch with them. See what's going on with their firm. And then little things. Practice your handshake. Practice your introduction, how you communicate. Those people that you're interviewing with, look them up on LinkedIn. Find out a little bit more about them and come prepared in your interview or whether you meet them on campus with questions. We love questions. So always have questions and really take an interest. This is your career and a really great opportunity. And then things like practicing your why. What are your goals, short-term and long-term? We want to hear those. We are building our culture with you and want you to come back full-time and really build a lifelong career here. So tell us your goals. And then just being decisive, what department you want, what city you want to be in. Those are all things that certainly help in the process and kind of better position you to be successful as you're going through it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I run into this a lot. I know it's hard for a junior to make that decision. Am I going to be audit or tax? I don't know. I haven't really had a lot of experience. Whatever market, and then sometimes they just want to say, well, whatever opportunity. If it's audit, I'll take audit, or I'll take tax. If you don't have a position in Dallas, I'll take Houston. And me personally, I want you to know what you think you might want and where you want to be, because long term, you're going to be driven to whatever makes you happy. And so the idea of just taking whatever opportunity out there, I don't think is a good idea. You should really study what's audit, what's tax, and what city is going to be best for you, and then really lock into that and go with the firm that's going to give you that opportunity rather than just taking wherever they're going to push you to.
Yeah, I think decisive is key, right? I mean, we want to know that you know what you want to do because we want to make that happen. And as we're building the pipeline, that's where we want to fit you in. So be decisive and do that research and really know what you want. Ask around to your friends, family, teachers, as you're going and meeting different people at different firms and hear why they chose what they did. And those things all certainly help.
That's right. And so, one question I have is, are there any third-party groups that these students can go to and obtain unbiased information about? I know, they're all going to see these slides and people are going to throw these numbers and this and that. And sometimes those can be not misleading, but just thrown up there. And, is there a third-party site they can go to get information?
Great question. Yeah, credibility is huge. A great site for that is going to be Inside Public Accounting. This is a great one. We've continuously been ranked on best of the best, I think, for the last 19 plus years, 100, top 100 fastest growing firms. But look for credible sites that are going to give you accurate answers, not just sites that people pay for awards, right? But ones that we're actually earning. And we love to say, being the biggest does not always mean the best for you, right? You're choosing your schools for you, right? So choose the career for you. Choose the accounting firm that is the best accounting firm for you.
Yeah, and that, you mentioned the best of the best we call it IPA for short, but, that's a great, best for the best. That's really about, being the best firm, not the biggest, and it's about profitability. It's about client retention, employee retention, recruiting and growth, and all the things that matter as a business owner. And we're fortunate we've been on that list 20 plus years. I think this last year we actually, within that list, then they ranked the top 5 firms, and we received that ranking this year, so we're really excited about that. But that's just a great site for some information if you guys want to go there. And then, on receiving the offer, what's the first thing a student should do when they get this offer?
Sure. So let's first start with deciding if this is where you want to work, right? Hopefully by this time where your top firm is. And we really encourage you as you're going through the recruiting process. So, you've passed on campus interviews, you're coming in for office visits, narrow it down. Going to 8 or 10 different office visits is very overwhelming, right? And like we were talking about before, being decisive, knowing where you want to be, this comes into play, knowing which firm you want to be at. So when you're looking at the offer letter, is this a top 3 firm that you want to be at? Next, as you're looking at the details, regarding office and department, definitely want to confirm that. And then communicate timely with your decision. Most of the information is all the same on these offer letters, market price, and what you're getting at each firm, looking at start dates, but communicate timely with your decisions. If you receive an offer, communicate immediately after. That is what we want, we want to see you showing interest in us. If you need a couple days, whatever, but communicating is key as you are receiving these offers and deciding where you want to be. There's going to be timelines that you have to respond by, but don't wait till the end. Communicate in a timely manner.
And you hit on something, and like to talk a little bit more. You said market price. So are you saying that if I get an offer from a big 4 or middle market or smaller firm, is that going to be the same offer in terms of dollars?
They're mostly all definitely on market price. Firms, we communicate with each other as well to kind of see what everyone's doing in the market. So that market price is usually there.
So it's, yeah, they're usually all pretty close. I think some students are, it kind of becomes the standard offer a little bit. And so it's really about choosing the right fit because once you join a firm, your career path and trajectory in terms of earning and being successful is all going to be driven on you making an impact. And so it's good for students to know that, you can make a great impact at very different firms and be compensated, based on an impact, not the size of the firm.
Yeah, and I think, a couple dollars here and there, maybe it's a little bit different, but really thinking about what you want, right? Evaluating the firms, the values. Is this where you want to be to develop your career? Those to me are a little bit more important things as you're evaluating the offer, right? Looking at the firm as a whole. Is it a growing firm? Is there room for you to make it to the top? That market price. So the ball is really in your court to decide your goals and your future from this really early stage in your young professional career, which is really exciting.
Yeah. Do you feel these students have a good grasp on some of the other benefits, which probably vary more than actual market price, but did they really understand what they're getting besides just the stated salary?
We certainly talk about this as we are meeting at different schools and presentations, and we think it's important to go over, a high level going over benefits because these are going to come into play when you're back full time. And like you touched on a little bit earlier, Nathan, the goal of our internships is full-time offer. So these benefits are going to be applicable to you when you come back full time. So we like to go over them. So these things should be important to you as you guys are going through the recruiting process. Ask these questions now. So find out if these benefits align with your goals and that as you progress in life, these benefits can also work with your life stages too. As you start out as an associate, you might be looking for something as far as benefits goes, but then you maybe start to have a family and you keep progressing in your career. So does the firm have that flexibility in their benefits to keep you there long term? So these are certainly important to look at and sort of play a role in helping you decide where you want to be.
And so I'm a great student. I interviewed well and I got a lot going for me, and I have these multiple offers in front of me. What's a way I can compare these against each other?
I think everything we touched on, right? Looking at, you really need to decide the best firms for you with your goals and what you want long term. Having that effective and timely communication with the firm is key. We're going to be keeping in touch with you and reaching out. So as you are evaluating it, just figure out what's most important to you. I think it's less about leveraging them against one another and more about deciding what you want and communicating that in a professional manner and just being decisive.
Yeah, obviously I always tell students, and I touched on it earlier, but a lot of times they say it's about the people, and to some extent it's definitely about the people. But you got to remember, as if you're a student and you're getting recruited by a top 5 or 4 national firm, a lot of those firms have 25% turnover, and so if you meet 10 people as a student and you're going to intern a year later. And then a year after that, you'll start full time. 50% of those people will not be there. And then 2 years in your or 2 or 3 years in career, there could be less than 10%. So it's almost got to be the culture in the firm and then the impact you can be having. Because there's been many studies out there. Money and all that you think is all that matters, but the reality is you have to enjoy your job. You have to feel like you're making an impact at that job. To love it, and so you have to really think about other things other than size or and other things like that. So just impact, I can't say it enough, is a big part of that. So I get my offers, I take my Whitley Penn offer, and tell me what's a Whitley Penn internship program look like? Walk me through that a little bit.
Sure. So you're going to come in as an intern, eager, excited, ready to start. Our interns are always super excited to start. You are going to join the firm. You're going to go through a week long of training, which is fun. We usually bring all the interns together. This was, of course, pre-COVID world from all offices. So bringing them all together, going through training. We're going to teach you the policies of the firm. We're going to go over your professional development and then your audit or tax specific training. or whichever department you're in. Another thing, during that week, every intern gets paired with a mentor or a buddy, or even a staff accountability coach for some of our returning interns. And this person's going to really be there to guide you through everything. You're going to be able to ask a lot of questions to them. They are going to be your go-to person during the course of your internship. And of course, there are so many other people available to you. You know, we'd love to say our open door policy is really true, right? So even interns have access to partners in upper level management, which is huge during your internship. And then as you go through the internship, you are going to go through every training, every meeting as a staff, right? We're going to treat our interns. Our interns are basically staff from day one, and that's how we view them. We want you guys to get as much experience as possible. So, for example, an audit intern is going to rotate on different clients to see different industries throughout the course of their internships. Tax is going to get to work with different teams. So you're going to get a lot of training on the technical side, and then you're also going to get training now on the professional development side through our new Develop program. This is really focused on building those soft skills that we discussed earlier that are so important, but this is our intern professional development program. So created to educate and encourage interns as y'all are cultivating relationships and growing in your professional development skills. So you're going to come in and expand your leadership skills, meet with firm leaders, engage with other interns and other people of the firm. And these are all things that are offered to you during the course of your internship. We really want to take an investment in you because we see you coming back for the long term, full time, to be a part of our Whitley Penn team.
Yeah, and not to back up a little bit, but I would say the question I receive the most when I'm on campus is, what do we look for most? As a partner, when I think about potential interns, for me, grades are definitely important. There's got to be some sort of hurdle there, right? But as long as you're above, the 3.2 and somewhere in that range and maybe around that, 4.0 is great, right? It looks great on paper, but sometimes there's other things that are more important, right? Do you have the great attitude and effort? Can you juggle not only school but a job? Do you have leadership roles in organizations? And so, to me, as long as you're in that window above 3.2 or around that, whether you're 3.4 or 4.0, I think it's, great with the 4, but that doesn't necessarily do much for me. Once you're above that 3.2, I'm really looking for attitude and effort in other things that are, somewhat more intangible, like leadership skills or juggling work and school. And so, there's so much more important there. It's the full kind of circle of a person and not just those grades. And so I think that's important for students to understand. When I'm taking this internship and I'm coming in, what other students am I going to be with? What schools do you guys go to and who am I going to be around?
Sure. So we're over 20 plus schools, mainly in Texas. We've certainly expanded outside Arkansas, Ole Miss, both schools we've had great success at. And if we're not at your school, certainly reach out. But it's a great mix of students from all different schools, all different backgrounds that you're going to get to interact with. Most of our interns are here for work, and then they certainly hang out outside of the office as well. So it's a really fun time for the interns to be here. We like to host a lot of different events for our interns, but they become their own great little team and network of people, and then they get to come back full time, and they stay in touch with one another. So lots of different schools and diversity across the board.
And, I tend to spend most of my time on one campus, and that's my alumni Texas Tech. But you get to go to a lot of variety of campuses. As the lead recruiter for the firm, what do you look for? I mean, what really stands out in yourself?
Sure. I think, just being eager and goal-driven, those are things that certainly stand out. And like you mentioned, can you hold a conversation? We're really trying to build the firm with the best of the best people. So we run our interviews in a laid-back way. We're trying to have a conversation with you to learn more about you and really build that culture, like I said. So knowing who you are and what you want, being confident, and just being yourself. Like you said, we want to see that you're involved, whether it's with campus or outside organizations, but just who you are as a person. I think, we can tell that you have done your research and that you have a genuine interest in our firm, and that makes us, very eager and excited to talk to you as well. We love young entrepreneurial minds as well. Y'all come in and y'all are innovative. So bringing those ideas forward, raising your hand, sharing ideas with the firm, those are all things that we love to see.
Yeah, and I guess some little things, right? Like, set yourself up for success. So 1, be on time. 2, if you sign up for an event, attend that event. And 3, look your best. And that doesn't mean having to buy an expensive suit or dress or this and that. That just means, putting effort into your appearance and make sure that first impression means a lot, right? Because you never get a chance to make another first impression. And so there is some small things you can do that don't take a lot of effort, but can be impactful. So, think about those things as you go through the process.
And communicate.
That's right.
I think I've said that so many times, but communication, effective communication is really key through this process. And like you said, I love the first impressions and just going back a little, being a sponge, soaking up all information that you get, whether it's during the recruiting process or during your internship, but just being open to taking everything in. It's such a great learning experience. And asking people about their stories. When y'all are interviewing, ask our partners about how they got to where they are and ask them about who they are and learn a little bit more about them. And I think that can all really play a role into helping you decide what you want.
And so how many interns, does Whitley Penn typically take now?
Sure. So we normally have between, let's say, 30 to 60, a large number, right? So last year for spring 2020, we had 60 interns. It was our largest class. For spring 2021, we've dropped it down to 45. But I think that's really due in part to the goal of our internships is this full-time offer. So as we are building the pipeline, looking at how many interns to bring in, we want to give our interns full-time offers. So that is how we decide that number of interns that we'd like to have the goal. So I think we're really mindful about deciding that number. And our internship, is designed to give you a true experience of what a staff role is like. So you're treated like that for day one. So
I won't be making copies and cleaning cars. I'll be doing.
You will not be making copies or getting coffee. You will be doing staff level associate work.
I dated myself on that one. No one makes copies anymore. Everything's electronic. But
Nathan might ask you to send a fax for him once in a while.
That's right. We have a fax machine around here somewhere. I think when I was on my internship and I got to spend a lot of time with some great folks. Griff Babb was a senior on one of my engagements, and we like to have a lot of fun at Whitley Penn. And as an intern, I'm eager and ready to please. And him and one of our clients played a little joke on me, and the client had brought a dog to work every day. And Griff told me that I should ask to walk that dog. And so for about 5 days in a row, I went into the CFO's office and asked if I could walk her dog, and then the joke was on me at the end of the week. But no, our interns are staff, and they're going to be out there with a senior and a manager and a partner and possibly more staff and seniors, and you're going to be treated just like other staff, and you're going to learn a lot, and the learning curve is very steep, but you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. And those relationships you build as an intern will be with you for the rest of your life. And so I think it's just a great opportunity, and it's a lot of fun. Now, a lot of times we go through this and students are asking, what about summer internships? Is that something we do?
So we don't necessarily like to focus on that. Springtime is when we're in busy season, and we want you to get that true experience during your internship of what a public accounting firm is like. But to answer that question, yes, some of our departments do have summer internships. These usually include our forensic litigation valuation services group, so FLVS. Tax in our Dallas Plano market does take on a few summer interns as well. And then something exciting we're looking to roll out next summer for 2021 is our summer leadership program, which would be for sophomores then entering their junior year. So follow us for more details on that soon. But to go back, yes, we like to focus on those spring internships for sure. But communicate that. Reach out to me and see what the needs are. I don't like to ever say no. So there might be an opportunity for you there. So definitely reach out to me if that's what you're looking for.
What about, do our interns travel? Does that get an opportunity for them?
There's certainly opportunity there. Some for audit, which I think they'd love to do. Some folks love to travel and want to take every opportunity they can. Others not as much, but both are great, right? We have clients close that need attention too, and some far away. So I think I always say, speak up if you like to travel, raise your hand, communicate that to the partners. Our interns have partner exposure from such a young level. So raise your hand, tell them what you are looking for, what you are looking to get out of your internship, and we'll see what opportunities are there.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that kind of a good generalization about the firm is, if you want to travel, there'll be opportunities to travel in your career, and if you don't, then you don't have to. It's we really try to listen to our people and understand that. I mean, throughout my career, I have enjoyed traveling, so I've been to Montreal, Vancouver, Sydney, London, all over the U.S., Newport Beach. But I like to travel, so I got that opportunity. But we've had folks that, for whatever reason, whether it's personal or family, they didn't want to travel, and so they don't. And so just like she said again, communicate, let us know what you want, and there's plenty of opportunity for some exciting things to do out there. And if doesn't happen on your internship, then it can happen once you start back full time.
And what a benefit of being at a large middle market firm, right? Having those opportunities to speak up and kind of decide what works best for you. I think that's a huge benefit of middle market firms that's just one of the benefits, I think, is talking about travel. There are, of course, a lot of different other benefits, but really we want to set up your career how you see it, and we want to work with you in that. So if traveling is what you love to do, then let us know. If not, let us know.
And, as a young intern or staff, I think, mentoring is so important. So tell us a little bit about the mentoring programs that we offer for our interns or staff.
Sure. So I think we mentioned this earlier, but love this question. I think it's a great question. And I think a lot of our students ask us about this as well from a training/mentoring perspective. But we do pair all of our interns and rehire associates with a mentor or staff accountability coach. This person is with you from day one. We actually like them to make introductions before you even start, but they are there to guide you. They're available to you. They're your number one resource while you are here during your internship for any questions, right? Even as little as, how do I put in this time or build this client, to anything. That the options are endless on what you can ask your mentor. But we want to pair everyone. It's just someone that you are paired with immediately, you feel connected with, you get to meet, you get to go out to lunch with throughout your internship, build a relationship. And then I think it helps, when you come back full time, you've already had these relationships that you've built within the firm. And then, like I said, our Develop program is another great way for our interns to come together with one another, with a class. I think sometimes our interns at any firm don't get to come together as much. So we love this program because it allows all of our interns to come together, chat with one another, both on the audit, tax, whatever department side, to hear what everyone's doing, talk about what you've been up to, ask any questions, and in all those meetings as well, we've got partners and managers leading those, and those are just more people that our interns get to meet and build a relationship with. I think our firm is 100% a team environment, so your needs are our needs, and we're all kind of working together collaboratively towards one goal. So don't be afraid to be innovative, ask questions, raise your hand, even as an intern.
Yeah, and I'd say the key on a good mentor-mentee relationship is really the mentee needs to somewhat drive that and be excited about it. And that's going to make that mentor really gravitate towards spending time and putting a lot of effort into it. And that's throughout your career. It doesn't matter if you're 20 years into it, you always need a mentor, and you should always try to be mentoring people below you. And so it's just a huge aspect no matter what you do. So tell me a little bit about COVID, this strange world we're living in right now. How has that impacted recruiting in the near term and long term?
Sure. So, we're all going through this COVID world still, trying to figure out what it's all about. I would say campus is pretty much business as usual. We've been like that since the spring when it first hit. We were still doing interviews, offer letters, bringing on interns, working together as a team. So right now, of course, we're not on campus or in person, but we are at every event we normally would be at. So any Meet the Firms, any accounting presentations, any different events in the fall, and we'll be like that through the spring as well. But we will be still at everything, hosting our on-campus interviews in the spring, and we've just made it our goal to stay connected with our incoming interns as well. So we technically haven't really met them ever in person, just over Zoom, the ones that we interviewed this spring of 2020 that will come back 2021. So we've stayed connected with them, as well as our returning associates, the former interns. So we've sent little things like swag boxes. We'll send them our campus newsletter, frequent check-ins. I just think communication is key, especially during a time like this. So, and having those mentors and staff accountability coaches do check-ins just to keep everyone encouraged and inspired. Let them know we are so excited for you to start. And so we hope we're in person soon. We love to meet all of you guys in person. I think we definitely make connections and build relationships that way. So we're staying optimistic. The fall right now, though, is 100% virtual, and that is okay. So we trust our process and building our culture with the best of the best people, and that will never change.
And so, we don't know what's going to happen for this internship. It could be somewhat in person, somewhat remote. It's going to be very, very unusual. I know a lot of interns will want to know the answer to that, and this is unfortunately something that we're just not going to know until we go through it. And so I think that does present some weirdness to something that's typically very structured. But we're excited about it. I know we'll work through it, and the most important thing is, we want you to be comfortable, whatever that is, and your comfort level may be different than the person next to you, but we're going to cater towards what ultimately you're okay with and is best for you and the firm. And so don't worry about it. Go through the process, trust the system, trust the firm, and I think in the long run it'll work out. But what next? Where can people find us? I'm a student. I'm listening to this. I'm about to go through recruiting. Give me the rundown on how to get information about the process, the firm, and everything.
Sure. So all of our internships are always going to be posted through your school's career site. Most schools are on Handshake that we are a part of. But you can always find us through your accounting student organizations as well, right? Beta Office Size, accounting, the ACLs of different schools. So get involved. If you see a firm presenting, attend that event. But like I said, we're on Handshake. Follow us along on all social media channels, Whitley Penn on everything, and stay in touch with us. FitWit Wellness Program, if you want to follow along that Instagram as well. And then myself, follow along with me on LinkedIn. I post daily videos that focus on connecting, growing, and developing together in our professional development. So that's just a great way to stay involved. But be active on social media and learning more about these firms, attending the events. And like Nathan said, if you sign up for them, attend them. This is a great opportunity for you to learn as much as you can, being a sponge, soaking it all in. But we're all over the place. You can easily find us.
And really just to kind of wrap it up here towards the end, but I look at going through this process and I get this question, and so I want to cover a little bit of the highlights. But how is Whitley Penn different from every other firm, whether it's middle market or Big Four or whatever? And I'd say the things that stick out to me as a student that I would want to know is, one, our growth. You can go find this on Inside Accounting website, or you can go look at our numbers. But every year, the tremendous growth. When I joined this firm in 2004, we had under 50 people. Today we have over 600. And so to see that growth and see us go from just being in Fort Worth, then to Dallas, then to Austin, then to Houston, now we're out in the Permian Basin. It was my generation, I guess, that kind of took us from 50 to 600, but it's going to be you all who take us from 600 to 2,000, and take us from, just in Texas to all over the U.S. And so I think it's an exciting spot for any potential student. And other exciting thing is, we're really Texas-based with now an office in New Mexico, but we have international reach. We're part of Nexia, and Nexia has firms throughout the world. Throughout my career, I've used Nexia firms in Argentina. I actually had a client that had to get an audit done in Kazakhstan. Through Nexia, we have a secondment program, and so that's basically a business exchange program where we send some of our young and talented seniors and managers to work with other firms in other countries. I got to do this program in 2004 and spend 4 months in London. Had a blast, lived in London, worked in London, had all British clients who just thought it was hilarious. I was from Texas, and all they want to do is talk about George Bush and guns and everything else. And it was just such an exciting time and a unique experience. And people don't realize that, we may only be 600 people, and we're the 41st largest firm, but the opportunities we have are very unique, and it's more similar to a top 5 firm. And then just culture, right? We have a culture for entrepreneurism and growth, and so we allow our people to try to do new things. We had a tax partner that many years ago said, "Hey, I have all these clients that have significant wealth, and what how can we help them?" And today we manage over $650 million, all because that tax partner had that idea to do that. We've had other partners that started other groups. Myself personally, I had a lot of oil and gas clients, and I was able to start a group that all we do is outsource accounting around that. And now that group has grown to over 25 people in it. So, the thing to take away from that is if you have an idea, they're going to let you run with it, which a lot of other firms, it's really stay in your lane. If you're audit, that's what you do, audit. But with us, we're always looking for new and exciting trends and service lines, and it's our people that drive those. And then finally, I would say, you move at your own pace. Some firms are very structured. You're going to be a staff for 2 years, a senior for 3 years, manager for 3 years, and then a senior manager. And so it's very rigid, and no matter how much impact you make, you're going to have to go through that defined process. I would say at Whitley Penn, it's much more about you. If you achieve quicker, then you're going to move quicker. If you need a little more time, we're going to give you a little more time. And so I think that's a key element to not having to be in some defined, rigid order. You kind of make your own pace, and so I think that's very beneficial to a lot of people. Danielle, when you think about what makes Whitley Penn different, what really comes to your mind?
Man, I think you hit every point. But no, we have a lot of fun here. It's public accounting, right? So we work really hard here at Whitley Penn, but we have a lot of fun together. I think what's great to see from a culture standpoint is that people love to hang out outside of the office. The relationships are there, where you're working with people a lot at work, and then you still want to hang out with them after work. I think that's so important, especially as you're trying to foster this team environment and working together, loving the people that you work with. I think just having the exposure, being partners being available to connect and really take an investment in you and your growth is huge. And what I love about the firm, that entrepreneurial mindset, I think is great. Sharing ideas. This intern professional development program just came with me sharing it with Nathan, and he was like, great, let's run with it. So things like that, being willing and open to sharing your thoughts and ideas, we want to hear those. And that's what I think being at a middle market firm and having this family environment where we're all friends, I think really plays a great, it's a great benefit as we are getting work done, providing that client experience and client service. That is our number one goal. So we first need to focus on the people at the firm, make sure they're developing in a way that's benefiting them personally and professionally to deliver that seamless client experience. And I think that's what we give them here. And just the opportunity. Like Nathan mentioned, the growth is huge. We show this really great slide in our campus presentations that shows revenue growth and partner growth, which I think is really important for any young professional to see that the firm is not only growing revenue-wise, but partner-wise, right? There is room for you to be a partner at this firm, and that growth is so huge. So looking for those things, is the firm growing? What does their female count look like? What does the attrition count look like? Those are all things that are building our culture here.
No, that's all great points. And, Danielle, we appreciate everything you do. Recruiting is, as a firm, it's so important to us. And so you just add such a valuable help in organizing it all. And thank you for doing that. And we appreciate your time and hope this was helpful. I would say if you're a student listening, take control of your career and put a lot of effort into it and show a great attitude. And I'm sure you'll find the firm that's perfect fit for you. I hope it's Whitley Penn, but if it's not, enjoy your career and be passionate about what you do. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you soon.